Hello everybody and welcome to Assembly. I don't know about you, but the first couple of weeks seem to have absolutely flown by, so I hope they've gone well for you too. I'm going to start with the Rounders report, and this week, in between some mixed senior inter-house rounders, the students also enjoyed a junior girls rounders fixture against Scarborough College. Back at school on Saturday, the girls' senior tennis team also played some exciting games against an experienced women's team from York Tennis Club. Great to know that there's fixtures coming up this Saturday and next Saturday and the one after that as well too. So the much anticipated upper sixth mixed rounders final on Wednesday saw some very impressive fielding by school, so leading them to defeat Grove in an impressive display in record time. In the lower sixth competition, the combined efforts of Rise and Linton against School led to only half a rounder separating the teams. Rise and Linton pipping the post in a very impressive high-tempo contest. So fantastic afternoon, high spirits and great teamwork. Very well done, everybody. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing the bits that I managed to get to earlier on as well. So turning to debating and public speaking. The public speaking team, comprising Elia Ali, Victoria Tomlinson and Evie Blacklock, competed in the national grand final of the ESU Churchill Public Speaking Competition on Saturday afternoon. And their performance was excellent, with the judges commenting that they did exceptionally well and that they had been very high up on the judges' list. They were competing against other pupils who were in Year 11, so equivalent of our fifth form. So they not only had loads of fun with this competition, but have learned a lot, picking up many tips along the way. And the future certainly does look bright for our fabulous public speakers, especially considering that they, of course, are still in the third form. So very well done. The inter-house debating competition is carrying on this term, and it's now the turn of the lower sixth. The competition ran this week on Tuesday, with Dronfield and Rise winning in their debates, and with School moving into the next round, with two more teams having competed on Thursday, but sadly not enough time for me to get it into Assembly. Well done to all teams for taking part in this competition. It of course teaches you some excellent life skills, and each speaker's contribution adds to the house totals, with the overall house winners being announced in final Assembly at the end of term. Listen out in tutor groups for the lineup in the next round, which takes place next week. In a similar related area, many congratulations to Justin Kong, who's in lower sixth in the Manor, who's won second prize in the UK's Supreme Court essay writing competition. And his essay was on the title, "Does the law do enough to balance the right to religious freedom against the possibility of unjustified discrimination?" He received very complimentary and impressive feedback from the judges. So Justin, many congratulations. Eco Club from Mrs Hall. Thank you to everyone who took part in last week's Earth Day quiz. The questions provoked lots of important discussions about our planet, and hopefully you learned a lot too. Many congratulations to Hope, fourth form, who proved the most knowledgeable tutor group with an impressive score of 13 out of 16. So your prizes of fair trade chocolates and some sunflower seeds for you to plant are on their way. I'm also delighted to announce an art initiative between St Peter's and York Minster. In Japan, crane birds symbolise health and 1,000 years of long life. 1,000 origami paper cranes are often given to a person who's ill to wish for their recovery. And the pandemic, of course, has made the last year difficult in all sorts of ways, and making cranes is an expression of hope. The word for that in Japanese being kibo. York Minster and our ceramics teacher here, Penny Phillips, are inviting children and adults from across York and beyond to make origami cranes to express how you might feel about the last year. You can write on them, you can draw on them, put names of loved ones on them, or just simply leave a simple message. And they will then fly alongside hundreds of cranes made by other members of the community in the crossing point of York Minster from July onwards. So the deadline for entries is June the 25th, and if you're interested, materials and advice are available from the art department or anybody in the marketing department. And finally, obviously recording this on Thursday, and this morning when I left the house to go for a run, there was a lovely rainbow in the sky pointing directly over the school. So I took a photograph of it and shoved it on Twitter, simply saying it was a lovely sight and wishing everybody a good day. It's really interesting to see how many people responded positively to that. In what is simple terms is actually a very basic natural phenomenon. I think it's fair to say that we all love rainbows, and they occupy quite a special place in human thought, perhaps speaking to some deep-rooted pre-scientific side of our nature. Of course, in the Jewish scriptures and the story of Noah and the flood, God puts a rainbow in the sky after the flood is over as a sign of peace and harmony. Rainbow, of course, is also an important symbol of the LGBTQ+ community and pride, and more broadly is associated with diversity and inclusion in all its forms. Ever since the pandemic started, I've added an emoji of a thumbs up and a rainbow to most of my tweets, so picking up on the way that it's been used as a symbol of hope and optimism over the last 18 months. And it really is an interesting piece of psychology that we associate rainbows with the end of a storm and the return of sunshine and warmth. In a different way, of course, we also welcome the return of rain after a long dry spell. And when it rained recently this week for the first time in ages, if you don't count the snow over Easter, you may have noticed the lovely smell coming up from the ground called petrichor, which is caused by water falling on warm, dry ground. Bad luck, however, if you were the ones who got caught outside and drenched. And perhaps within all of this is a metaphor for where we are at present. Still much on our plates, and especially with the process for awarding grades, but also the glimpses of optimism for what may be coming after the 21st of June. In a good way though, each day I find brings mini rainbows of great and enjoyable things happening. And some very good examples of course can be seen in my assembly announcements, but there are also so many others which I see as I walk around the school, such as people playing outside at lunchtime, seeing the third form having some gym inductions and taking part in the challenge, sound of music coming from the chapel and music school, all sorts of sport happening. And I did very much enjoy the chance to play cricket on Wednesday evening against the Upper Sixth. The result was possibly never in doubt, but they're great times and very happy memories. So thank you very much to everybody who was involved in that. I found over the years that a very good habit to develop is to notice the things you enjoy and simply do them more often. Also, and especially when things feel very pressurised, to actively notice the good things and develop a sense of gratitude and optimism, which can be such a great balancer in our lives. Very simple activities, but positive ones with very deep impact as well. I hope the rest of the week goes well for you, and I hope you have a very good weekend. So stay safe, go well, and crack on.